Hey guys, and welcome back. Thanks for stopping in today. If you're interested, you can get our daily free pick over at our main website, stumpthespread.com, and you can get there by clicking the logo in the top right-hand corner of this video if you're on desktop, and we'll also link Stump the Spread in the video description. Yet again, yesterday's daily free pick came through as Youngstown State went on to cover the spread against Cleveland State, and our daily free play has actually been just performing tremendously, going 11-1 against the spread over the last 12 days. So if you're interested in getting today's free one-unit play over at our main website, I recommend you go over there and check that out. In today's video, I got about 7 matchups that I'm going to be touching on and who I like against the spread in some of these matchups. And this is going to be for January 29th, 2017. So the first game that I want to touch on is the biggest game of the day here. We have a matchup between Virginia and Villanova, as one of the best from the ACC goes here on the road to the Big East, taking on last year's national champs and currently the top-ranked team in the nation this year in Villanova. Both of these teams are extremely strong on the defensive side of the ball. As a result, we do expect this game to be lower scoring, maybe somewhere in the 60s. Wouldn't be a total surprise. Villanova might not mind pushing pace a little bit, if they're able to get out in transition, especially behind their home court advantage. They'll probably try out and get some easier baskets and run-out situations against this Virginia defense that's really tough to score on in the half court. Virginia looked really great in their last outing as they went on to get past Notre Dame on the road in a game that was pretty competitive throughout, but Virginia really put the clamps down there on the end of that game as they went on to win that one rather convincingly. They're going back-to-back on the road here, which is never easy, especially when going against quality, high-caliber competition. This is really a proving game here, and I feel like the Big East has more to prove going against the ACC, and really the conference as a whole is really putting a lot on Villanova here to really prove themselves against one of the best from the ACC. Everyone is feeling like the ACC is far and away the best conference in the league this year, which they probably are, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other really good leagues out there, like the Big East, for instance. We do expect this to be a pretty good game, but Villanova has that great home court advantage. This is a team that has shown they can perform really well against strong opposition this year. Also, Villanova, they did fall in their last outing, but we have to consider the fact that Villanova gets every team's best every game that they play in, given the fact that they're the top-ranked team in the country and coming off a national championship, and that's just really has a wearing effect on a team. And Villanova might not get up and play at that same level for every matchup, but this is definitely a game where we expect the Wildcats to come out and perform at their highest level, kind of like what we saw from them consistently last year as they made their run to that national title in the NCAA tournament. As a result, we do like the home team to come through here behind their strong home crowd advantage as they go on to win and cover this moderate spread here. Moving on down here to the Big Ten, we have another great matchup, Michigan versus Michigan State. Both of these teams kind of hovering around that bubble area for the big dance, and both these teams could really use this win, and we expect both these teams to really perform and give their most, just given the fact that it's a heated in-state rivalry, but also add the fact that both teams could really use this win to bolster their resume. It just adds a little bit more incentive for both squads to perform. Michigan looked outstanding in their last outing as they went on to beat Indiana at home by 30 points. This is a Michigan group that's been very inconsistent with their results this year, which is kind of a surprise given how many veteran players that the Wolverines have on their roster. Michigan's not all that strong down low, and this group really likes to slow things down and play in the half court. They have one of the better ranked defenses in the Big Ten, and their offense is more of a mid-tier in the conference. And here they're going on the road against Michigan State, who's been a disappointment this year, obviously with their 9 defeats. Michigan State has gone against a really tough schedule, which at least keeps them in the conversation for an at-large bid, even though they do have those 9 defeats. Michigan State got off to a great start in Big Ten play, but they have fallen back as of late, and they are coming off of a disappointing home defeat in a game that was competitive against Purdue. Michigan State has a great home court advantage that we expect to really play in their favor today. This is one of those situations where you have a savvy veteran Michigan group going here against a Michigan State squad that's a lot younger but has a higher ceiling when they're able to play up to that level. This game does mean a bit more for Michigan State, given the fact that it is on their home court, and Michigan is coming off back-to-back wins on their home court. Michigan was really in make-or-break situation going into their two-game homestand, and they were able to take care of business in those two outings against Illinois, and in their last outing they were also able to come through against Indiana, but things get tougher here going into a hostile environment. We feel like Michigan State will come through here and cover this small spread in what's really a desperation make-or-break game for the Spartans. We do like them to come through here behind the great coaching from Tom Izzo to win and cover this spread. All right, moving on down to UW Milwaukee versus Oakland. The Oakland Golden Grizzlies, we really feel like they have the most talent of any roster in the horizon, but even though Oakland got off to an excellent start in league play, they just have not looked the same over the past 2 to 3 weeks. It's really been very surprising. Oakland in their last outing was really handled by a Green Bay team that you would expect Oakland to normally win at home. We did pick Green Bay to cover the spread in that particular matchup. And then we have UW Milwaukee in their last outing. They were able to come through on the road against Detroit. Milwaukee being one of the lower tier teams in the horizon, but Oakland has fallen at home recently to other lower tier teams in the league. Falling to Detroit, also falling to Cleveland State at home, and then in their last outing they also fell at home. So this is an Oakland group that really needs to start proving themselves before we can side with them with any kind of confidence again. And even though we're not all that high on UW Milwaukee, given how the Golden Grizzlies have been playing as of late, and how they just haven't been able to put the ball in the cylinder on the offensive side of the ball with any kind of consistency, we do feel like the Panthers getting the 11.5 points is going to be the better bet in this matchup. Moving over to the Pac-12, we have Washington State versus Arizona State. Washington State was hoping that they could be a bit more of a factor this year. They were returning some of their key contributors, but that just really hasn't been the case as the Cougars remain the doormat of the Pac-12, and they've been getting consistently blown out in a number of their results. Some of their results just being absolutely horrendous, losing by 30, 40 points. There's just a lot of rebuilding left to go for this Washington State program, and they're going on the road today against an Arizona State group that's also in a rebuild project under head coach Hurley, who's still recruiting his guys and bringing his players into the program. Arizona State at least has some solid offensive options, and we actually think this Arizona State squad is better than what their overall record might suggest. We did take Arizona State to cover the spread in their last outing at home against Washington, and the Sun Devils went on to win that one in a pretty comfortable fashion. Behind their home court advantage again today, we feel like the Sun Devils should be able to come through and not just win, but win in a rather comfortable fashion as they go on to cover this 10.5 point spread here against the Cougars. All right, 3 more games that I want to talk about in today's video, starting with Wright State versus Illinois Chicago, going back over to the horizon. Wright State, they have been pretty up and down with the results in conference. We saw them completely demolish Oakland and then turn around and get demolished by Valparaiso. This is a Wright State group that when they are able to play up to their ceiling, they can really play with anyone in this league, and they tend to, play up to that ceiling more on their home court than they've shown on the road. They're going out on the road here against an Illinois-Chicago squad that's a lot more competitive than they were last season, but unfortunately for the Flames, Dikembe Dixon has been out for an extended period, and he really is a major contributor and force for them down low. And without him, Illinois-Chicago isn't the same force. In their last home game, Illinois-Chicago went against Northern Kentucky, and we really liked the Norse in that game. That was one of our better value plays there, as Northern Kentucky went on to win and cover that spread and win rather easily. We are going to piggyback off that again today, as we're going to side with Wright State to go on the road here against Illinois-Chicago and go on to win and cover this spread. All right, moving on down here, back to the Big Ten, we have Indiana versus Northwestern. Indiana was absolutely throttled in their last outing on the road against Michigan, and things really don't get any easier for the Hoosiers today, going on the road against a Northwestern group that has been a solid performer in the Big Ten this year and it's really great to see this Northwestern team come into the year knowing that they have the talent and ability to make a push for the NCAA tournament, and then to actually have them play up to those expectations and even surpass expectations. The Northwestern Wildcat basketball program is not used to surpassing expectations by any means. And to break into the NCAA tournament is just going to be a very big deal for this fan base. And we've seen Northwestern take that very serious this year. Whoever they've gone against, they always bring top-level effort, whether it's at home or on the road. Unfortunately for Indiana, they will be without James Blackman Jr., and that greatly affects them on the offensive side of the ball. That's their leading scorer. Northwestern has just been that solid, consistent performer that we like to see, especially when siding with the team against the spread. We do like the home team, Northwestern, to get the job done here. The spread has shifted, obviously, with the news of James Blackman Jr. being out. But we do like Northwestern to go on to win and cover this spread here against Indiana, who just looked terrible in their last outing on the road. And one more game I want to talk about in today's video is going to be over in the MEAC between St. Peter's and Iona. This is a St. Peter squad, a little different than most teams that you see in the MEAC, as they're very defensive oriented. This is one of the top defensive mid-major teams in the country. And St. Peter's, every now and again, they do show some spark on the offensive end, even though it's not in every game. This, at least, is a Peacock squad that has the some of the players that have offensive talent and the ability to make some shots, and they don't only need their defense to play well to win some of these games. St. Peter's, sometimes they really don't match up all that well with Iona, who plays at a blitzing, fast pace. We saw that earlier in the year as St. Peter's at home lost rather convincingly against Iona, and things figure to be tougher for the Peacocks here going out on the road. I will note that St. Peter's has been much more competitive and have just shown better as conference play has worn on. And, right now the Peacocks do stand above Iona in the conference standings, but behind their home court advantage, we liked Iona, how they looked in their first matchup against St. Peter's on the road. And in this one, coming back to their home court, we do feel like Iona should be able to go on to win and cover this spread. And that's pretty much going to do it for the games that I wanted to talk about in this video. Again, if you're interested in getting that daily free play over at our main website, you can head on over to stumpthespread.com, and you can get there by clicking the logo in the top right-hand corner of this video if you're on desktop, and also we'll link Stump the Spread in the video description as well. And if you're interested in getting more of this pick video content in the future, if you want, you can click that subscribe button, and also if you can thumbs up the video, it's greatly appreciated. So thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next college basketball pick video. Bye.